Okay, we're not leaking. Oh yeah, we are. So, car's been running great. Still breaking it in. I got like 300 miles on the break-in period. I went and took it to work yesterday, but on the way home, I filled up the gas all the way. I finally filled up the fuel cell, right? Well, I did that. Came home to gas dripping on the floor. And I'm gonna have to show you all what kind of happened here. I'm a little upset, but I think I figured it out under contemplation of it all. So back here, you will notice I have 2 holes already made. I'm actually cutting this panel out and riv nutting a plate in, but I was trying to get to this right now to work on it, and dang, dude, and got it out to where it needs to be. My gas was leaking out of the fill sending unit. You can still kind of see residue. Yeah, it's still leaking out of the gasket. It's all tight and everything, so I was like, what the heck? Well, over here, on that side, that's where my vent tube is. And I'm wondering if, since the car is slanted, I'm wondering if there's no way for the pressure to escape from up there. Like it's just blocked, and it's pissing out the top here. So what I'm gonna do is I have another fitting right here in the middle. I'm gonna move the breather tube to that fitting for now, cap this side off, and see if that fixes it. And obviously, another funny thing is, my fuel sending unit stopped working when this happened. So I ordered a fuel sending unit. I also ordered some new screws, the new O-rings, a new gasket, of course, a thick boy. And this right here is a lock ring. So instead of it threading into the actual thin aluminum fuel cell, you'll have this bracket under everything, and you'll bolt the sending unit to this, and this will kind of like help secure it, clamp down tighter. That's a steel piece of metal. So yeah, that's what's pretty much going on. Let me get the hat cam and stuff and cut this floor out, and then that way I can kind of show y'all what's going on while working on it. So yeah. All right, I got it recording now. You are now on my helmet, or by helmet I mean my FedEx hat. So we cut the floor out. Let me go ahead and just lock this screen so my phone doesn't die. We cut the floor out. I stopped right here where I did the first hole saw, because there's a, I don't know if you can see under there, but that's a body structure. So I ended up cutting where it ended. Of course, there's my vent tube, cut. I left this here because it divots here, and I wanted a nice flush spot to riv nut. For now, this is just going to be a quick piece of aluminum. I'm going to put it on and just riv nut, like for a temporary fix, because I think I'm going to end up cutting all the way here and around and just have one giant piece, because this piece right here is really close to that. That was hard to cut through, but we got it all cut through. I'm only worried about this thing right here right now, and that's it. I guess I can plug this back in. But eventually, before I do the carpet in the rear, this is going to be a whole, kind of like Rashawn's air tank. It's going to be a piece where, because the carpet ends up here, I'll have it where I can roll the carpet out if I have to, pick the plate up, and then change the fuel pump, change anything in here, and not have to go down there and fight everything. So, but for now, this is just what I need to get here, because I need to get to this vent tube. If this gasket and new fuel sending unit doesn't work, I'll move the vent tube down here in the center area. Can't really see it down there. And this filler neck is also vented too, so I think it had pressure. I think it's just a bad O-ring here, because you can see it's torn. The new, I bought an Amazon fuel sending unit. Comes with its own gauge and everything, but it's a 5 SAE like this one is, except for there's no top wire. It's just 2 wires. So I'm hoping that'll help with this little issue here, because I thought it was this gasket that was leaking. Turns out it was the gasket to the power to the gas signal, or the gas gauge sending unit, and now my gas gauge stopped working too. So something's funky with that, and I don't know what. So I'm gonna get that real quick, and I air blowed the area because we're about to take this top off. But I want to get a piece of cardboard or something along that lines. I guess we can use this shield to cover the hole until that piece comes in. I'm trying to get everything done right now as I can. I really don't even want to be doing this. I mean, oh yeah, by the way, there's a passenger seat back there. I got that for Christmas and I installed it. That's what I would like to be doing, is driving the car, working on this. But when you have leaking gas, it's kind of scary. And it may have been like this its whole life since I've had the tank, which has not been long. But what am I doing? I have a big tool. But the problem is I never really filled it up all the way because at that time I wasn't, you know, I wasn't 100% keen on everything being right. So I just put a little bit of gas in there, never filled it up all the way to the top, and now here we are. Self-tapper, self-tapper, self-tapper. That's the one thing I don't like about the Summit gas tank so far. See, it's just self-tapped into this skinny aluminum. And here's our float. If I can get it out, I can attempt to get it out. I can find a spot to get it out. Okay. So there's our little float. Not as big as I thought it was going to be. Then again, it's only a 7-inch tank, so I don't know. Maybe that has to get tightened from there to mash this in. Oh yeah, you can see when I tried tightening it, it must have cracked it or something or damaged it. Oh, big deal. Okay. There was our issue. Or not really our issue. Let me do this real quick. You just go ahead and boop that. We got this ring here. And basically this metal ring, what it does is, well, if I can open it up, it allows, basically inside the gas tank, you will have this ring here. And then you tighten it down from there. You may be like, well, what if it falls into the gas tank while you're doing it? Well, I thought ahead of that. Let me make sure this fits. Ding, ding, ding. There's a proper lineup on this as well. I'll have to find it. I think it's right here. Yep, okay. So I have these right here. These may not even be long enough to do what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna kind of show you how I'm gonna do it. I may go to the hardware store. These are 10 by 32 by 1, so they're 1 inch long. I may go to the hardware store and buy 3 that are 3 inches long or 2.5 inches long or said length, the longest ones I can get. Because the new gas gauge I have is a shaft style. So here's the gas gauge. It's 6.8 inches long, right? And there's a little float that just goes up and down, up and down, up and down. Well, I could leave the long screws in there, and I might, I don't know yet. Or I can use 3 long screws to basically put the new fuel sending unit, the new gasket, which is right there. I'm not using this one, although this one looks pretty okay. May keep it for an emergency or something. Yeah, it don't look bad. Oh yeah, it's got a couple, oh that's weird, it's got a hole. Oh, for the ground screw, interesting, stupid. Where was I? So I'll have 3 3-inch long bolts, right? It'll go through the flange for the sending unit, through the gasket, so I can hold it in the air and still have some leftover thread. And what I'll do is, with my other hand, we'll get our bracket here, and basically you feed it in like so, and you keep feeding it, and you keep feeding it, and then you feed it all the way around, and it goes, you hold it technically and keep it from falling. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tie some floss around this so I don't accidentally drop it into the deadgum gas tank. I will have 1 bolt in, so I have this long gas unit, and what I'll do is I'll thread, actually, you know what? I'll take the smaller bolts, I'll bolt from here to here without the gasket or anything, and here and here. I'll get the fuel sending unit to that length to where I can thread into the other 3 holes. And then once I can thread into the other 3 holes, I'll loosen these 2 snubby ones, pull them out, and then put the other 2 long bolts in and tighten it all down. It'll be a kind of a pain in the butt, but I would rather have this big thick piece of metal as my clamping force and not sheet metal freaking screwed. I forgot the thickness of it. It's a decently thick aluminum, but I want some structure, you know. I want to be able to crank that gasket down and not have to worry about it. So we're basically upgrading the gas tank. All right, so I went to the hardware store and bought 3 3-inch long bolts to do what I was talking about, going through in the gasket. Booyah, got them done, right? For $1. $1.04 was my fix. So what I'm gonna do now is I've wrapped some electric tape around this, and I kept the loom here. You know, I'd rather waste this than drop this in the tank, at least until I get some pincers. So I'm gonna feed it through, thread in 2 of the 1-inch bolts first, and that will hold this plate in the spot, I should say, long enough for me to get my, when the new piece comes in, we'll take these 3 long bolts, like so, and the gasket, we'll feed it through just to thread it in a few times to hold that bracket. Then I can take the other 2 tiny ones that we have set in there right now out, let this thing sit all the way down to where this is threaded into the car, basically holding it up, the bracket in the inside the tank. Take the shorter screws, put them on here, and then take 1 out, put it in, 1 out, put it in, 1 out, put it in, and then keep the 3 for if I ever have to take it apart. So it shouldn't be too bad. Dogs are barking like crazy right now, and I don't know why. So yeah, we're gonna do this real quick. Going to literally just feed it in, like so. And then feed, 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 feed. Get my finger over here, continue to feed it, continue to feed it. All right, we are now in. And I put the tape on just in case I accidentally dropped it. The tape isn't doing anything but making it easier for me to drag it out. We're gonna thread this boy on. I'm not gonna tighten it all the way because I don't want to damage that gasket that's on there, because this is one of the good screws. So we're gonna thread it, thread it, thread it, thread it, thread it, thread it. And if I let go, look at that. The tape isn't even doing anything anymore. It's being held up by this bolt. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and grab another tiny one. Pop it out real quick. Boom, I got the other one. And I'm gonna go on the opposite side here. Kind of get it level where it needs to be. Oh well. And if you look here, you'll notice I am in the wrong hole, proper hole. So I'm gonna rotate it again. I just poked myself, I need to get rid of that. I'm gonna have to pull it out and rotate it. Let's line it up. So we'll take our taped bracket here. We're gonna line it up to the proper one. Doesn't look like it's gonna be that way, so we'll clock it. Oh, I think that's the money right there. Hole, hole, no hole. Is that it? Hole, hole. Okay, so I do know now that the split needs to come straight down. So when we put this in here, like so, get it in, and I can already feel that electric tape starting to want to give. I need to put my finger upward without dropping it in the tank. Okay, good. And I know that that right here, this hole right here, and this bolt is where they need to talk to. So I'm going to thread it on. I can feel it through my finger. So I'm gonna let go. And then we'll line up our holes real quick. Hole, 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 and a hole, hole right there. So we are lined up where we need to be. I'll take this one right here, and we're going to just thread it on to this side, if I can. I'm trying to. Easier said than done. Let's just do this. Let's thread it. If I can get my finger back under there, we'll thread it right here. And then boom. Just like that. It's going to hold the bracket here until we can get the fixture. So now we just wait for that to get here and we can continue our issue. Alrighty, so I don't know if y'all can see this. I'm hoping you guys can see this. Here's my gas gauge, and I'm kind of just making sure it works before, you know, we go in, because this gauge can do certain different ohms. And from the looks of it, this is the correct position. So if I have that down, the float's at the bottom. It's going down to E. We're at E. Say we'll climb it all the way to the top. It'll rise up to full. We'll go like about halfway. About halfway-ish. Ta-da. Half tank. And we're out of gas. Ooh, boom. So, sensor works. And, ooh. I know you can change the colors. And y'all already know what color it's going to be. It's going to be purple. No, I'm playing. It's definitely going to be green. Whoa, they got a lot of colors. Green it is. So it works off my 12-volt DeWalt. So now we'll put it in the car. We'll wire this up later. Chloe's taking a nap, and by nap I mean it's bedtime. Not bad of a float, actually. Pretty loose, so it's not going to get stuck. And I'm pretty honestly excited. But I do want to check in here. I have the 3 screws holding it. Okie dokie. I don't know why my GoPro keeps dying. Let me make sure that y'all are recording. Yeah. So the GoPro died as we were putting this in, but my method worked. I was able to get the 2 long ones in, put them down, tighten them all down, star pattern, good. Wired our signals, everything's good there. I just have the pump here for the key on. If I can get it in, the piece here. We got it on. What I'm gonna do though, is I'm gonna take this fuse out and I'm gonna run this wire here and jump the fuel pump, because we want it to, we want to see if it's, you know, doesn't overflow. That's the goal here. So we'll put that in there, in here. Kind of just listen and watch. Let it do it for a bit. I think we're good. And of course I'm gonna check it after filling it back up. Oh, yep, see, we got a leaker. So it's like leaking. It looks like this O-ring is leaking. So we'll go ahead and kill it, because we know that there's gas leaking from there. Yeah, but O-ring was a little torn. Luckily, I have a spare. That was the one that I used as a test dummy 5,000 times, so I've got more O-rings too that we can use. And then we'll just tighten the hand threader on. Give her a little juice. Give her a little juice. Okay. And I'm still thinking, oh, I guess I can test it again, huh? Let's see here. Not seeing anything that could be a problem. My only other problem, I feel like, yeah, but it looks like it dried up now. That's good. I like that. Not seeing anything. And we're not seeing anything down here. Cool. The only other thing I really want to do is I'm probably going to take the vent, because I still think the vent isn't helping it breathe. I think it's like airtight because I had the lid off that time. And I don't think this thing right here is a good enough vent either. But on that piece down there, there's your feed line, and then there's another 10 AN for like a return. I don't know if I want to put the return line there and then atmosphere it. Actually, I probably shouldn't do that because it would still be in the area. I'll probably put the return line over here, or the atmosphere over here, and do my loop still. That way it's over here in the air pocket area to vent the flow. But we'll find out once I fill it up again. It's definitely not pissing out like it was. It was pissing out like crazy. So just gonna throw all these extra wires down here real quick. And the next thing we're gonna check is to make sure the fuel sensor works. So we'll just literally, that looks about right. Nice. I like that. I like that little dance it does too. Well, that pretty much fixed our issue. I'll go fill it up later on and we'll test it again. It doesn't look like it's leaking anymore from that O-ring. So I'm very happy about that. But I will take my hat off now. I will brake clean it. We'll fill it up. We'll see if it does it again under a full tank of pressure. If it does, we'll either move the return line to the middle, but I'd rather check the vent one first, because if I do the return line, I have to cut it and lengthen it or put a joint there to lengthen it. But I really am going to try the, I really want to try the atmosphere first back there where the air is, because the way the car is. I'm wondering if it's just too much fuel in that corner and the check valve little thing is just not doing its job. It's not flowing the pressure out, and it's just wanting to push the fuel up the thing. But I mean, shoot, even if I wanted to, I could probably just put a spacer here and here and lift the tank back some. Not here and here, but this part where it mounts to the frame we made. Put a spacer on each side to lift it up. I might try that too. See if I can knock two birds out with one stone. But that's it for this. It looks like our gas gauge works. And after fixing that O-ring, I don't see it leaking or peeping out anywhere. It was just doing that. So as soon as I tightened up that O-ring, it looks dry there now. So yeah, I'll consider that a win. See y'all in the next time something small or stupid just happens to work. We'll finish the trunk later on with the interior stuff when I actually am ready for that. But we have the metal, the rib nuts, the Dynamat. We're good to make a panel, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and cut that panel out more and do a big panel. That way I can get to my return line, my fuel line, and then the main line right here. So until then, I'll catch y'all in the next one. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful New Year's. It's 2024. And hopefully we're not going to work on this as much as I want. I want to work on that. this is the year of the S10. I'm saying that right now. I'm devoting my focus to the S10 because Chloe likes cars, my wife likes cars, I like going to car shows. Why not have an AC vehicle with a car seat and a 5-speed manual that my wife can drive, and I can drive this one? So, goals. Those are family goals right there.